Hey, Miss Wynn here to show you my preferred way of doing quizzes via Kami and All in Learning at the same time. We want to use Kami so that the kids can show their work, annotate, and do all that stuff, but we still want to have our data in All in Learning. So we can do both basically by attaching a Scantron to their quiz or test paper in Kami, right? So the first thing you need to do is get your Scantron. And so to get that, if you go into All in Learning, there's this printer button here that shows up in the upper left-hand corner, so you click that. 40 question sheets is more than enough for us, for math, so get that. You want to save it as a PDF and save it to your desktop. Okay? So the thing is, you're using this, it's a blank Scantron, so all of your students can use it, and so I believe when you scan it, you'll have to select what student goes with, but that way you could just have one quiz and give it to all of them, right? I don't know that there's a good way to use the customized roster sheets with Kami. I mean, that's a lot of individual quizzes you'd have to make. That's a lot. Anyway, so you have that. Kami itself has this nice PDF tool that allows you to split and merge files. So if you don't have access to a PDF editor of your own, Kami is pretty good for that basic purpose. So we're going to do split and merge. So I'm just going to use a warm-up that I had, but you would just use your quiz as one of them, right? So here's my quiz. And then I also want to attach the Scantron. So where's my desktop? So here's the PDF, and this is just drag and drop. So now I've got that, and I've got the warm-up. You go to the next page, you can double check. So if you need to remove any extra pages or whatever, you're good. Otherwise, this looks good to go. So I'm going to call this, math quiz export. I'm just going to download the file. Okay, so now you have this PDF that has all the quiz questions, pretend this is a quiz, and then it has the Scantron. Nice blank Scantron. Okay, so now what you want to do is assign it. And so this is where you would go to Google Classroom. You have to make sure you have the Kami extension installed, otherwise this isn't going to work. But you go to Google Classroom, go to Classwork, Create, and once you have Kami and you're logged in and everything, there should be this Create Kami Assignment button here now. So you do that. You select all your students or however it is you want to do this. A quiz, it's an assignment. You do want to set a scheduled due date, a scheduled time. The nice thing about using Kami, the Google Classroom Kami assignment thing, is that normally through Google Classroom you cannot schedule when you're posting assignments for all of your students, but with Kami you can. It'll let you. So that way you can queue this up. So you do the quiz, you attach your quiz that we just made. It makes a copy for each student. Okay, which is nice because they each have their own copy, and it's all good to go. They don't have to make their own copies. You don't have to worry about that. Each of them, when they open it, it'll be their special copy that they can bubble in. I always check this box here, add links to open with Kami, because that makes it so even if the kid doesn't have the Kami extension enabled, they will still be able to click. It adds a button, and they can click and open it with Kami no matter what. Okay, so that's nice. So when you do that, you assign. And I'm not going to do that, but I'll show you what it looks like for them. So they have their math quiz. They will fill in. These have my annotations because this is a warm-up. But so they fill in, they get their answers, they circle, they show all their work ideally, and then they get to the Scantron, and this is something you may have to practice with them beforehand. But the nice thing with this is that they can just bubble them in. So they use the little drawing tool. They can bubble in their answers. Well, I guess it needs to be black probably, but they can bubble in their answers this way. If they change the thickness to 12, actually I think 10 might work as well, they don't have to like really bubble it in. They can just click once and it'll bubble. That's what I've taught my students, and so for them, gridables and stuff is really easy because they just remember to do that. Another nice thing about this is that you can pre-bubble. So if you have ones that you know are going to be gridables or free answer, you could just kind of pre-bubble E for all of them or something so that the kid doesn't get confused, because sometimes we tell them, oh, we'll just skip number 2 because it's a free response, but they don't always do that. And so if you bubble it in like that, that can be a nice visual reminder for them, like, oh, I don't have to do that problem or whatever. Because you can annotate it like this, you can save it, and then that can be the version, or download it, I guess. Download it, and that can be the version that you upload as their assignment, so it's kind of pre-bubbled in a way, you know. So yeah, that is my way of doing it, and it seems to work pretty nicely. You can zoom out, and then if you have the app on your phone, you can just hold it up and scan straight from your computer, and it's good to go. All right. Hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions.